And we are really honored this morning to have with us Mark Weaver of WMAL. I say you're of WMAL, but only for like a couple more hours.
Yeah.
You are done. It. You are almost out of here.
Yeah.
This is your last official appearance on WMAL.
My last appearance anywhere.
Is that it? So you're done with broadcasting?
Hopefully not the last appearance on Earth.
Yeah.
Last appearance on the radio.
So you did your last newscast yesterday, right?
Yesterday, right.
And you're here to be with us this morning and get a little cake, and then you're out of here.
That's right. I'm leaving for Florida tomorrow.
Now,
me and Kim, 2 suitcases. And
it's like a Roadrunner cloud out the door.
Yeah,
you're done.
Exactly.
That's the way to do it, I think.
All right. So when did you first come to? I mean, I know you've been around. How many years you've been in broadcasting?
45.
Is that all in the D.C. area?
No. I got started in Laurel, Maryland, the little Spanish station. Well, it's Spanish now.
I was going to say, I had no idea you did a Spanish broadcast.
Yeah.
Sí, claro.
Yeah, I had to leave because I can't speak Spanish. So then I went to Frederick, Maryland.
Yeah,
I worked at 2 stations there. One of them I worked at for 1 week.
Really?
Yeah, my buddy.
I've had some of those.
Yeah, my buddy Lou Scally, who's still doing TV weather up there.
Wow.
WHAG TV called me up and said, "Hey, Mark, come over here. I'll give you another 50 cents an hour." So I went from WMHI to WFMD, and I was there for about a year. Then after that, I went to Alexandria, Virginia, where I worked at WPIK WXRA. WXRA was 105.9 FM.
And here we are.
Really?
Yeah. Now I'm back again. And then from there, I went to Denver, Colorado. I worked at 3 stations in Denver.
Oh.
Then back to Washington, D.C., where I worked for the Associated Press for a while. Then to Baltimore, WBAL, and then WMAL. Wow. So there's my entire career in a nutshell.
You came to WMAL in 1988.
88.
Wow.
That is amazing. And our listeners, of course, on WMAL have grown accustomed to you being the afternoon news anchor. How long have you had that role?
Well, I've done afternoons for about 15 years.
Okay.
And before
That's
that...
a whole career right there.
But for 10 or 15 years before that, I was the morning news anker. I was
which
Bill.
did you like better?
Tell us the difference between mornings and
afternoons, man. I'll tell you, I hated the morning shift. Getting up at 2:30 in the morning that's for the birds.
Yeah.
I never got used to it. I never liked it. But, you do what you got to do.
There you do, exactly. Yeah. And that's how you keep a long career like you've had, Mark Weaver.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, if you would like to chime in and say farewell to Mark Weaver, maybe share some memories, maybe your favorite moment of Mark's career that you remember, give us a call, 888-630-9625, 888-630-WMAL. I'm new here, of course. I've only been here about a year, but as soon as I knew anything about WMAL, of course, you know about Hardin and Weaver.
Oh,
I think we need to, of course, make that connection for those of you who don't know that your father was Jackson Weaver, who did this morning show starting in 1960, right?
And the very chairs that we sit in now.
Yes, they haven't swapped the chairs.
Boy, those chairs are really worn out.
Yeah, I know.
Well, and we would like, I don't know if you have heard this, but we have some audio, the 10th anniversary of the Hardin and Weaver show, and you appeared.
You made an appearance.
Are you serious?
No,
in this moment, this is from 1970, and I want you all to pay careful attention because you're going to hear a voice that sounds just like what you're hearing now with Mark Weaver, but it's not him. It's his dad, Jackson. Listen to this.
Excuse me, Dad. Excuse me. I'd just like to comment on...
Thanks very much, John.
I'd like to thank Mr. Brown for his taste in listening and saying that he listens to my program.
This is Mark talking.
Mark, you were on already.
Yes, I know, but I think these people should know that I have my own morning show in Laurel, Maryland.
Yeah, we know that.
I'd like to thank Mr. Brown for his comments and saying that he listens to me every morning. I think it's a wise decision. And I'd like to thank you guys for coming down and see me this morning.
Look, we didn't come down to see you this morning. You came down to see us this morning. And Art Brown follows the ponies.
Oh, I see. Well, I
you know
work
what
in
that makes him? An old buggy. But thank you, Mark, and we hope you have all the success. And when you're at WLMD 10 years, we'll come over to see you.
Where do you see my anniversary? This thing's nothing compared to what I'm going to have.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful Laurel Hilton.
At the Laurel Hilton, yes. Thank you, Mark.
Hotel Corporation of America would appreciate that.
Do you remember that?
No.
I love that you're on Hardin and Weaver plugging your morning show in Laurel.
I was actually pretty good. I thought I was terrible.
Yeah.
Well,
isn't that funny?
Maybe I've just gotten worse.
You're always your own worst critic in this business, I think.
But here we are in 2013, and they're giving you, the business about, when you get your 10 years, we'll come join you. We'll hear you.
Great.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
You didn't know we had that, huh?
No,
we succeeded in keeping it a secret. All right.
That's a great surprise. I want a copy of that.
All right, we can make that happen. I'm pretty sure.
We've got a little bit more just in the year that we have been here, or that I have been here. Brian's been here 3 years, or 2 years, excuse me. I've grown accustomed to the way you report the news. I've told you off the air, not just your delivery, but also you find stories that no one else can find.
We are unabashed fans.
Yeah, and
we
so
truly are.
We're going to play one of our very favorites, but we also do want to hear from you. Victor in Silver Spring, you're first up. Mark Weaver, today's his last day. Truly a legend here on WMAL.
Hey, Mark. I remember your show. You did Saturday afternoons about 20 years ago, and it was right around the time that my wife told me at the time it was either her, the marriage, or WMAL. I chose WMAL. She came over one time while your show was on in the Saturday, getting her stuff out, and you made a joke about the feminist movement, and she said, "Who is he?" I said, "That's Mark Weaver." "Turn him off. I hate him."
Well, there you go. But he chose you. Thank you, Victor. He chose you over his wife, Mark Weaver. What do you think of that?
Wow, I think that was an expensive decision.
So when you did when you did the afternoons, you did long form talk, right? How was that compared to doing the news reports as you've been doing for the last 10 years? 15?
Well, when you're doing the news, you're supposed to be pretty straight.
Yeah.
You just read the news. But when you're doing a show, you do what you guys do. You have to entertain and interact with listeners. I mean, it's a totally different thing.
Did you enjoy one over the other?
Doing the show was fun. I enjoyed it. But after I was done, I'm like, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to just go back to doing news.
All right.
Got myself in too much trouble.
Well, that can happen.
You guys should know.
It can happen in a nanosecond.
How about Rosie in Bethesda? Rosie, you're on WMAL. We're saying a fond farewell to Mark Weaver.
Well, listen, I have loved Mark all these years, and I hated it when he didn't do his afternoon show. I have a Saturday one, too. He was talking about Wolf Trap complaining about ladies breastfeeding because they attracted the bumblebees. And he played the bumblebee song, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. He said, "Oh, my goodness, that must be the ladies at Wolf Trap. Here come the bumblebees."
Fly to the bumblebee song.
Do you remember that?
Do you remember that one, Mark?
Vaguely, yeah. I'm trying to forget some of this.
But see,
stuff.
that's the thing. You do these things. You do how many topics in an hour? Sometimes 4 or 5 topics in an hour, and they sort of blur one into the other.
Over 45 years.
This was 20 years ago.
Yeah,
that one was. Well, but you know what? Rosie points out the fact bumblebees, animals. See, I think you have a knack for animal stories.
Yes.
And when we come back, our favorite animal story that you did recently, we're going to play that for you, and more memories with Mark Weaver. Today's his last day on WMAL. Come and join.
We are taking time today to have a fond farewell with one of our favorite guys here at WMAL. This is Mark Weaver's last day. In fact, this is his last appearance on this radio station, a radio station he joined back in 1988. At the time, there were 2 Weavers on the air because your dad was here until shortly before his untimely passing in 92.
Yeah, I started in 88, and he passed away in 92, so we were here for about 4 years together, and that was weird.
Was it?
Been a lot of years where there's been a Weaver on the air here at WMAL. Linda in Manassas, line 5, if you could, there very quickly. You have some thought that you'd like to express about Mark's last day?
Yes, congratulations, Mark, on a great career. I loved listening to your dad and to Hardin, and I have something to offer to you. I love the voice. It's a great radio voice. I have a dollar bill signed by your father and Frank Hardin that I received many years ago when WMAL and Giant were giving away turkeys. And I got a $5,000 check. I was 3rd place, and I have it signed by your dad and by Frank Hardin, and I would be happy to give that to you if you'd like.
Wow.
I never turned down money.
Right.
Well, I'm behind the wheel of a car, so I wouldn't know I can't stop and write anything down. But
all right, Linda.
Send it here. Send it here.
The address is on the internet, WMAL.com. Thank you, Linda, for that. She mentions,
super.
Thank you. She
Absolutely.
mentions your voice. You do. I mean, there are broadcast voice. Your voice is beyond a broadcast. It is so distinctive and so remarkable. Beyond just having the voice, we were talking a little bit about how you have certain inflections when you say the call letters and things. Did that just come naturally, or did you decide, you know what, I want to be distinctive?
No, that just you kind of develop a style, and you don't do it consciously, but it's just you.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, give me a WMAL roll.
WMAL.
That's the best.
Is that it?
All right, so here's a story that we like.
We love this story.
The animals. You always find the best stories about animals, and you've got to give us your secret sauce before you leave, because we got to do these. We love them. Here's one from just a few months ago.
There are reports of aggressive raccoons attacking people and pets in Ocean City.
I mean,
aggressive raccoons.
I'm glad to see I didn't try to sensationalize it to any degree. Aggressive raccoons attacking people in Ocean City.
All right. So those are the fun stories you did, but you've also, I mean, since 1988, you have covered some very, very serious stories as well. And Sylvie in Waldorf brings up one that I really wanted to talk to you about. Sylvie, what is your memory of Mark Weaver here on WMAL?
Good morning. Yes, September 11th, 2001, and Mark's analysis of the news. The commuters were afraid. The citizens of the nation's capital were afraid. And thank you so much, Mr. Weaver, for all you did on that day and the days thereafter.
Well,
thank you, Sylvie. Yeah,
boy, what a terrible day that was.
9/11. Reflect on that and what it was like here, considering Washington was part of the attack.
Yeah. Well, my shift had just ended, and we were in the newsroom, and we have a TV monitor in there, and the guy who was the producer of the morning show, he came over the intercom, and he said, "Are you seeing this?" And we looked up at the TV, and there was the World Trade Center building on fire. And a plane had crashed into it, so we thought it was just a accident.
And we all did it first.
Yeah, and then we saw the second plane crash, and then we knew that it was something else.
And you were here for the long haul, right?
Yeah. I didn't go on the air. I think I did a couple of break-ins, to update the news, and then I was on the morning shift then, so I was back on the next morning with the aftermath of it.
Wow. All right, we will continue with your calls and more reflections on Mark Weaver, his last day here on WMAL. Last day broadcasting, in fact.
These are his very last moments.
All right, right here on, say it for me.
WMAL.
It's 8:21.
Local restaurants, shops, salons, and more with savings of 50 to 90% every time. Live more, spend less. Download the mobile app now.
Now that's a real sweet deal.
SweetJack.com.
Your product looks well. I've noticed a tremendous difference because my hair is noticeably thicker and doesn't fall out when I brush it. That's a real customer talking about Provia. Listen, if your hair is thinning like mine was, I got to recommend this great product from Chamonix. It's called Provia, and it has stopped the thinning in its tracks. Mark Weaver, I mean, I don't want to give away the story here, but wouldn't you have liked to have Provia about 10 or 15 years ago?
I think it's too late.
It's way too late for Mark. Don't listen, I envy everything about Mark, but I can't carry off the bald head like Mark Weaver can. So
I don't have any choice.
Provia.
I tell you, Brian, I hate guys like Brian.
I know.
Look at that hair.
The anchor man hair.
He's
Look
got
at
the
that.
TV hair.
It's ridiculous.
I'm in radio because I got radio.
We have radio heads.
Yeah. Some of us have it, some of us don't.
All right. Listen. Provia is the way to go, and right now they're going to give you all new Provia Super Concentrate free with your order. Give them a call, 800-525-6870, 800-525-6870. Provia Super Concentrate works or you get your money back, period. 800-525-6870, 800-525-6870.
WMAL listeners, Home Paramount Pest Control wants to know what's bugging you. The economy, traffic, taxes? Call our What's Bugging You hotline at 202-895-2400. Then listen Tuesday and Thursday mornings at 7:32 to hear What's Bugging You, presented by Home Paramount Pest Control.
Washington's Mall, WMAL, where Washington comes to talk.
Well, we're saying farewell to Mark Weaver. Where are you going after today?
I'm moving to Rockledge, Florida.
Where's that near?
It's near Cocoa Beach, near Cape Canaveral, East Coast, Central.
Uh-oh.
Is that near Cape Coral?
I don't know where Cape Coral is.
Well, I just warn you because there are lizards down there eating cats. We want you to do one more story when you get down there. Lizards eating cats.
A Cape Coral woman is hoping to turn devastation into awareness after I can't do it. No. But look out for the lizards down there eating cats.
Stephen Portnoy from ABC News is on the line. He's on 1-8. He's on 1-8.
Oh, we just lost him.
He must have had to have gone.
We'll try to get him back. Stephen Portnoy, who's at ABC News. We use him all the time. He used to work right there side by side with you.
Yes.
John Walker, John in Walkersville is on right now, and this is somebody. This is your life, Mark Weaver.
Hey, I just want to say my memories go well beyond his radio career. He used to do the announcements in high school.
Oh, my goodness.
And if you can imagine waking up as a senior and rolling in at 7 a.m., and listening to Mark Weaver. I've been following him ever since, and I wish you the best.
Wow.
I was the morning announcer at Springbrook High School, and before that, White Oak Junior High School.
Wow, you did the announcements there as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thanks for that memory,
It was
John.
in his blood very young.
We mentioned Stephen Portnoy, who's with the network now. Anyone else who you've worked with over the years that started out as some young whippersnapper and now they're
Frank Sesno.
Oh, really?
His work was Frank Sesno at the
Sure.
Associated Press.
Yeah.
And he probably doesn't know who I am now.
No, I think he remembers.
Everybody knows you, Mark.
And I can't think of anybody else right now.
Yeah.
Really can't.
Well, we can't tell you how much we wish you well in your retirement. We can't tell you, how much we appreciate all the years of service here at WMAL. I mean, we're newcomers compared to how long you've been on the scene, but, it is so good to know in the afternoon when you tune in that we're going to get it straight.
Yep.
From Mark Weaver.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for everything. You're an inspiration. You really are.
Hope you make it 25 years.
Well, if I do, I hope it's because I do things like
aggressive raccoons.